Yo, what's poppin' guys? Today I'm going to be showing you a very basic and simple tutorial for beginners. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the classic scary maze type game. This is going to be a very simple tutorial, so it shouldn't be super long. Let's start by naming our game. I'm going to call it Scary Maze Tutorial. So, what do you need to make a scary maze? You need the levels, you need your player, you need an end to transfer through levels, and you need your jump scare. So let's start by making a map. Let's just come to our backdrops tab and draw the first level, since we really won't need a title screen too much. If you want to add one, you can definitely do that. So I'm just going to make the backgrounds black. So all we really need to do here is I'd recommend just drawing a square that covers up the entirety of your map. Then what we'll do is we will set our fill to a white color and our outline to nothing. This will allow us to draw in boxes. So let's say the first level has you start in a box. You'll move across and then you'll move up. And then maybe you'll move back this way. And then upon reaching the top, you will transfer to the next level. You see what I did here? All I did was create a little map. Feel free to call this costume whatever you'd like it. I'm going to call it Level 1. Don't forget to save as often as possible. Cool, now you have a level created. Now let's create a player. Come down to this little, I'm covering it. Come down to this little icon right here, and then press on paint. Let's create our little player. Let's make our player gray. I'm just going to make him a little square. Don't forget to center him on the origin. Select the player where you want them to start on your first level. I want him to start right there. Let's call him player. Come to your events tab and grab out a when green flag is clicked. When the green flag is clicked, we're going to make a variable. Make a variable and call it level. Feel free to show it. You can put it up in the corner if you'd like. When the green flag is clicked, we'll want to set the level to 1, since that's the level that we start on. Then what we can do is we can come into our controls tab and grab a forever loop. Inside this forever loop, we're going to set up the player's movement. Grab an if statement and put it inside the forever loop. Go to your sensing tab and grab a key space press button. Change the space press to either, an arrow key or your WASD. I'm just going to use arrow keys. So I'll grab an up arrow. Go to your motions tab. To move up and down, you are going to be moving on the you'll be moving on the Y axis. So you'll grab a change Y. Set it to whatever number you'd like. I'd recommend 2 though. The higher this number, the faster you'll move. Duplicate what you just made. Set the second up arrow to a down arrow and change the positive 2 to a negative. The more positive a Y integer is, the higher you will move. The lower the number is, you'll move, down. So a positive number, you'll be moving up. A negative number, you'll move down. We're making these the same so that you move up and down at the same speed. Now duplicate what you did again. And let's set up the right-left arrows. Let's do right arrow first. Since the right arrow moves on the x-axis, we're going to remove the y-axis and grab a change x instead. Since right, you will be moving right, you'll be moving a positive amount. We're going to use 2 as well, just to keep it similar. If you have your y for this set as 3, make sure you set all of these 4 to the same number. Let's make left arrow and set it to -2. Save your project, and now you realize that when you run the game, your level gets set to 1, and you can use the arrow keys to move your square around. But one thing you might notice is that you can go through your walls. That's because we haven't set up the actual scary part of it yet. How about we set that up right now? So, this can be done by a basic sensing system, which can be put in this forever loop. We can add an if statement right underneath all of our movement, and test if we're touching the color of your walls. My walls are black, your walls might be something else. You can click inside this little circle and touch this image eyedrop tool and you realize that this kind of screen gets blurred beside your stage. You can now move and select whatever color you'd like. And it'll get the color exactly. So, what happens if you touch the color black? Well, the first thing we should do is hide the player. Which reminds me, make sure you show them when the green flag is clicked. After hiding the player, we can make a broadcast. And we can call this broadcast Jump Scare. Let's make a new sprite for our jump scare. We'll call this Jump Scare. You can feel free to find an image off the internet, which is what a lot of things do, so I'll do the same as well. Let's say, for example, I want to use this one. Let's keep track of where we get this from, because you should want to be able to credit the sources of the images that you don't own. To import an image that you've downloaded or that you already made on your PC, all you'll need to do is in the Costumes tab, you'll need to hover over this and click Upload Costume. You can't see it on my screen, but my File Explorer just opened. You'll need to navigate to where your file is and double-click it. It'll then upload it automatically. So here's my image. Feel free to make that the only costume and name it the costume whatever you'd like. You realize that the costume name will be whatever your file's name was. So now you might notice that your image may not cover the entirety of the screen. Instead of manually changing the size, which we don't need to do, you can come to the size number over here and change it. Say we set it to 500. Alright, that does that. What if we set it to 200? There. I like that. I think that looks fine. Now what we will do is inside our jump scare, we will do when the green flag is clicked, we will hide it. Come to our events and grab a when I receive. This is referring to the broadcast that we set earlier. Right now our only broadcast we can select is jump scare. So when jump scare is broadcasted, and when this sprite notices that a jump scare has happened, all that it will do is it will set the size of the sprite. Let's set it to 200, because that's what we chose to set it to. You'll have it show, go to the front layer, which means it'll just hop to the front, it'll go in front of everything else, and then you need a jump scare noise. You can feel free to record one, but if you want to make your own, you can definitely record it, make your own. But if you don't want to do that, you can find an image online, or find a sound online, or you can do what I like to do for some of my projects. Go to choose a sound, and then what you can do is we can grab something like voice, and then find maybe a crazy laugh. Okay? And now what you can do is maybe add a robot effect. Now, with scary games, they're usually very loud, so feel free to make them very loud. I added some echo too. Yeah, I just can't hear it. So there's my jump scare noise. And then what we can do is you can go to your sound tab after uploading that sound and grabbing play sound, crazy laugh, until done. If you don't do until done, it'll only play the first second of it. Now that sounds fine, but just trust me, when it runs in a larger script, you'll want until done. Fantastic. And then you can feel free to just stop all. Okay, cool. Now, you'll also want to have this go to 0, 0. I forgot, there's another thing. Now, when you start your game, here's your player. He moves around, and when he touches the wall, he shows. Now, why isn't he playing that sound? Let's get rid of the stop all and see if that fixes our issue. He's not responding. Oh, I know what's going on. Our player doesn't actually go to the location he's supposed to when the game starts. So move him to where he needs to be. Then make sure your player actually goes to its location when the game starts. Now when we start the game and touch the wall, our image shows up. For some reason, the sound still isn't playing correctly. Why could this be? Here. Let's duplicate our jump scare and do this. Two different things for the same broadcast. Let's take a look and see if that does anything. That fixed our issue. Weird why Scratch doesn't like that, but we'll go with it. Now let's set up a system for transferring through your levels. So, here's what we'll need. We're going to need to make a sprite. It can just be a square, right? Say you want another thing that looks like the player. Let's just make it this little tiny path. Okay, put it where you'd like it on your map. Right, that works for me. And we can call this next level. When the green flag is clicked, all you'll need to do is set a forever loop for this guy. Forever, and then feel free to grab an if else and put it inside. Go to your operators tab and grab an equals symbol and put it inside the if else. Come to your variables tab, grab level and stick it in the first bubble. In the second bubble, put 1. If your level equals 1, next level will go to wherever it is on the map. Now let's design a second level. I'll design a second level the same way I did here. Have the black background, and let's have the player start, say, in this corner. Let's make the walls a bit thinner here. Say this is my second level. Boom. Here's my second level, level 2. So, what we'll need to do is on the backdrop, in our actual backdrop, so make sure you're selected on your black backdrop, when the green flag is clicked, forever, what we can do is we can actually rename these to just the numbers. And then what we can do is forever, switch backdrop to level. Now what this will do is whatever level is equal to, that's what it'll set the backdrop to. So even if it's set on 2, when I press the green flag, it'll set it to 1 and it'll set it to our backdrop that it's supposed to be on. So, we're not done quite yet. In here, we'll make another green flag with another forever loop. Well, we don't even need to. We can just do this underneath these if-else's. We can actually do it on top. So let's take out what we have here for just a moment. And then say, if, come to sensing, grab touching, and set player. What we will do is we will hide this movement, right? We will hide the next level transfer sprite. We will set, or not set, we will change our level by 1, moving up the level. Right? And then we will need to transfer the player. So let's set up the place for the next level. Move the player where you need them. Your X and Y values should automatically update themselves. And then what we will do is we will set a next level broadcast. Broadcast, let's call it next level. Inside of our player, when we receive next level, all you'll need to do is grab an if-else statement. If then else. We'll grab equals, and then we'll make a level. If level equals 1, which it will never do, so we don't even need to, because we'll just skip it. So if level equals 2, we can grab the go to, and make sure that these numbers here match up with the numbers in these bubbles. Okay, let's see what happens right off the bat if we go touch it right now. Let's head over to our next level transfer and go touch it. Boom, we transfer levels. And our jump scare still works. Now, we have to get to moving this. Let's drag our original thing back inside. And feel free to put a show underneath the next level. This is just to stop it from transferring multiple levels at the same time. Now we need to set where we need to be. So, what we'll have to take into account is what direction it is facing. So, at a 90-degree angle, it will look like this. So we're going to put that right underneath in our level 1. Duplicate this whole statement right here, and put it into the else statement of the first one. Set your new level to 2. So now we'll need to decide what direction he needs to face. You can click on direction and this nice little wheel will pop up. I already know that it should be 180. But you'll see that upon hitting 180, it turns sideways. Which is exactly what we want. Put it where we need it. Right there is good for me. So let's set these up. So now it's at 233 and 94. Let's change that. 233 and 94. And we now see that its direction is 180. So we'll set this direction to 180 as well. Let's take a look. So all we'll do is we'll get our player over to the next level spot. You might want to give them a lot of space when they first start, so that if they keep holding up, they won't immediately lose. And now you'll see that the next level system actually moved. But we don't have a third level. So upon touching this, it'll switch the level to 3, but it won't really know what to do. So it'll just kind of bug out a little bit. So I'm going to make one more level just to show. See this one more time. Say I want the player to start right in the middle this time. Say I want to change up how the level looks. Maybe they won't be these easy corridors anymore. Maybe now it'll be a hard to follow path. So I'll set my brush size to say 80 or 100, that works too. And you'll have to follow a path like this. Maybe that's a little difficult. Hold up. There. There's my third level. This doesn't need any changing, but this next level stuff does. So we'll duplicate what we made here and put it in the else. If level equals 3, we need to decide where it goes. For my case, its direction doesn't need to change, so I can just move where it goes and then change its XY values. And then in player, we need to decide where the new player will go. I need him right there. So we'll duplicate this, and on level 3, the player will start at, I can just have him start at 0, 0. For me, these numbers will change for you depending on where your levels are. So let's take a look. Start our game up. You might have to double click depending on where stuff goes. Alright, let's go up and touch this top. Let's go see if you can pass this level. Ooh, we're getting pretty close to that wall there. Let's touch this one. And then we're in this final level. For me, your levels could be much longer. But now what's going to happen when we touch this? Say we want our game to end. That's pretty easy to set up. Let's make a new backdrop. Label it whichever number it is, right? Like your final level will have its number. So 4 for me. So I just want it to be a black background with some text on it. Make yours obviously a little bit nicer. But we'll say, you win. There. A simple ending. You can feel free to hide the level if you really want to. I'm going to. So, in here, if the level equals 4, all we need to worry about doing is making sure that the next level hides. Same goes for the player. If the level equals 4, it can just hide. And you can feel free to set these final loops to just a normal if. If you want to know how to make your backdrop black, or to be able to right click to be able to just switch that easily, I have a tutorial on that. It's a Google Chrome extension called Scratch Add-ons. Anyways, so here's backdrop to level, And that should do all the same for you. So let's take a look. So, let's see if we can die. We can. Great. So, let's see if I can't fix that weird issue really fast first. So the green flag is clicked. Have the player hide. Go to the location. Let's have it wait 0.01 seconds and then show. That might fix our issue. It does. Okay, cool. Anyways, let's go. See if we can't beat our game. So we can die. Start the game. Not have to worry about being in a weird area where when we press the green flag, the jump scare shows up. Move our player around. Transfers to the next level. Moves on up. Moves on over. Alright, let's get to our third level. Again, we want this big box at the beginning or something along those lines so that if they keep holding, they won't accidentally run into a wall when they don't want to. But you make your game however you want. It's a little bit of a tight area here. Okay. Okay, boom. So, it shows up. Why? Probably because my backdrop color is this. So, how can we fix this? Well, what we can do is we can start by adding a system where we can say in this forever, if we are touching the next level, we will hide. And then we could grab all of this from our next level and put it right underneath. So take this out. Underneath all this, we could add the 0.01. And then we could do a show. Show if not level equals 4. So this is the last level. If it's not the last level, it will show. Otherwise, it won't. It will not stop hiding. Or then, if anything, right here, for double measures, we could also stop all when the level equals 4. Now you're realizing that we're just winning whenever we press the green flag. Why is that? So, we realize that here, the level sets after we wait a little bit, and that's the reason. Move that to the top. That should fix our issue. Okay. Let's play through the game one more time. We can die. All works well there. So let's move our character through the level. See if we can't get to the end. Ooh, we're realizing our next level button isn't, or our next level transfer isn't showing. Why would that be? So, realizing the green flag is, it's never actually set to show when the green flag is clicked. Let's just put that underneath the green flag. Now our transfer is a little bit broken. Let's figure out why that is. Weird. It's definitely just because of what we did here. So let me fix it. So I just did an even simpler fix. All I did is I put this back to where we had it. Right, the next level, all this. And then all I did is I switched the color of the UN from black to something that isn't black so that it wouldn't trigger the jump scare. So, let's get through the game. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Just so this tutorial can go a little bit faster. Okay. If I'm winning the game, you win. And there you go. There's the end of your game. I'm going to leave the tutorial here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, like it, and like it anyways, because I have more tutorials on my channel. I think the tutorials playlist is about to hit 100. So there's a lot of stuff there for you to go look at. While you're at it, I want to subscribe to the channel, which will content me a lot. But thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
sorry, but I ain't changing up because I ain't seen nothing.